Tonight, the role of Jeremy will be played by an alternate universe version of yourself, trapped forever by a wizard spell.
On the cover, an image divided 4 ways. In the top left, Darren sits at a table with Meredith, both of them silently looking down into glasses while an elaborate breakfast sits untouched. In the top right, Piero looks at 6 people behind a clear barrier, each of them covered in black spots. Piero's hand reaches out to them as they throw themselves against the barrier. In the bottom left, William hides against an alley wall as half a dozen vehicles speed by, each emblazoned with the Infernus family crest. And in the bottom right, the Baroness and Dr. Bahat consider a floating display of a strange man on a strange motorcycle. Issue 20, A Swiftly Burning Fuse.
Welcome back to issue 20. 2-0. We have officially arrived in our 20s. We're going to start drinking, renting cars,
not
crashing.
Until next episode.
We're going to get an early start. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Legal drinking age in Axiom City, 20 or 21?
21, but I'm not like the rest of the moms. I'm like a cool mom.
As long as you're supervised, I'd rather you do it at home instead of...
Emphasis on the super.
Yes.
Perfect.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Alright, so we're off to a good first minute, as always. So I want to pick up with William and Piero, because the last time we left them off, it was kind of a Piero tries to kick William out. William says, "No, you don't kick me out." And I want to kind of pick up on that kind of the next morning, because Horus was kind of adamant that you two need a lecture about magic safety. So first off, are you going to go take this lecture, or are you just going to blow Horus off?
What do you think?
I don't have a lot of parental figures right now. So, sure.
You've got one that's always over your shoulder.
It's okay, he's not in his office right now.
Okay. The two of you wander about the city looking for the signs of Horus, as you do. And somewhere around 9 o'clock that morning, you find a temporarily closed for maintenance donut shop that fits your last symbol. And when you knock on the door, there's no answer.
Oh no.
What if we open the door?
Sure. Go ahead and open the door, and inside, you've got Horus's sanctum, but she is not in there.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah, there's a fireplace, there's a little fire going in it. There's that big pile of treasure over in one corner that's just always there.
Is there anyone we can call about Horus? Can we call Tony Rex and be like, what's up? Where's Horus? You know anything about
list
this?
of bad ideas.
Well, my two options were go through the treasure pile, which if we're here for a magical
I've already
safety...
done that once. You're welcome to try.
Yeah, if we're going for a magical safety talk, maybe sifting through magical items is not what Horus would want.
That's up to you. You're a teenager, you do what you want.
I've been down that road already. It worked out okay, but that doesn't mean I'm going to risk it again.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
So I think we have that panel where you guys are just kind of like looking through the door here at this big empty room, kind of figuring out what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Behind you, there is a cough. You turn around and there's Horus with a little bag from a local donut place and a little tray of coffees.
Nice. Glad I didn't go through the pile of treasure.
I really wish you would have. That would have been really funny.
And she pushes past you into the room. Admirable restraint, kids. Come on in. Let's talk about safety.
The talk.
You get inside. She conjures up her normal chair and has a seat and passes out some coffee. And let's establish this right quick. How do each of you have your coffee?
Black.
Okay. Are you a fancy coffee kind of kid?
I feel like you would be, but I don't actually drink coffee personally,
Gotcha,
so I don't know enough to tell you.
Do you think William is more of a sweet or a bitter kind of person?
Macchiatos are a pain in the ass to
We're going to go with sweet in this case.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, probably fancy, probably whipped cream on the top, some sort of... oh, no, it's one of those things where you've got, like, the little shape in the foam. Yeah, so someone had to really know what they were doing to make this.
Perfect.
Yep, perfect. So last night, I had a run-in with, and she looks over at Piero, kinda you, but definitely not. So...
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
And there's one other thing that I kind of wanted to talk to you about. Because there's a problem. Might as well just rip the Band-Aid off. And she makes kind of an arcane symbol at one of the walls, and it goes transparent. Behind there, in a padded, surprisingly cozy, but very definitely contained room, are 6 people, all of whom are just covered in black spots. Meet George, Dan, Rebecca, Steve, Mariah. I don't know what the last one's name is, I'm sorry. It was a long night. And she looks over, she goes, Danielle! Oh, perfect, thank you. And she motions at the wall again, it goes, okay. These are the ones I could round up. These are the ones that I found with your clone. Piero? How long was that thing gone before I showed up?
Let's see. Attacked William, and I lost track of it after that. Do you remember?
It couldn't have been that long.
Like, what, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Tops?
Yeah, okay. So, I don't really know how to do with that. This thing is gonna spread. Which means we all have a problem to solve, and right now, damned if I know how to solve it.
You don't know how to cure that thing. Cure the spot, or whatever it is.
I know one way.
Besides murdering someone, I'd rather not die, thanks.
William, we haven't had the talk yet, so this is the talk. Hi, I'm Horus. I end things, I don't fix them. We both have a set of powers. Yours is, hereditary, right?
Sort of.
You summon things up, and they do what you tell them to.
Yes.
Right. I was infected by an extra-dimensional force that kind of thinks it's a god, and honestly, I don't have any reason to doubt this at this point. I don't tell it what to do. Horus is me. I just let it out. So, if you're looking for someone to cure something, I'm the wrong person to do that.
Fair enough.
So, here's the thing. Tell me about that spot. Tell me what it means. Tell me how you got it.
I don't know. I don't know how I can talk about this, because it seems that every time I talk about it, it just gets worse. There's someone who isn't following the rules, and I made a bad deal, with the teeth guy, the teeth man, the box of teeth man. And I told him that I'd bring him the rule breaker. This is so vague. It's awful. I hate this.
Horus is just giving you time here.
The black spot, this infection is looking for a specific person, and I don't know what's going to happen once they find them.
So let's back up a minute. You made a deal. What are the terms of that deal?
All I have to do is find this person and touch them, and it'll bring them to the teeth guy.
And you haven't done that because...
I have a little bit of a plan. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but I don't like the terms of this deal, and I feel like I was really pushed into a corner.
I can understand that. I think we have a little bit of a understanding here. At the same time, I don't know how many people have been affected by this already, and it seems like you're giving up one person to save a lot of other people. If you just go along with this, right?
If I went along with it, yes, but my plan is to find my friend who they're looking for and try to convince her to help me stop him.
Okay. How are you going to find her?
She always seems to find me.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
So you're just going to wait until she shows up?
I mean, I know she's going to show up, and she has shown up. I just haven't had the chance to talk to her.
Let's try and speed this timeline up a little bit here, huh? When does she show up? What makes her show up?
It seems like she shows up when I'm sharing a tender moment with others. That seems to be where she really loves inserting herself.
Okay.
So you're telling me that she shows up when you're narratively vulnerable?
You know, that actually makes sense. The magical world doesn't operate on things like logic or physics. It operates on narrative. So...
Knew I should have paid more attention in English class.
Oh, don't worry. You're living your own narrative right here.
Thank you.
We'll see how it ends.
One of my parents is a theater professor, if you want to brush up a little bit.
Perfect.
Oh, parents! That's perfect. Who's the most vulnerable, tender? What will be the absolute worst moment?
Parents?
Why not?
My parents?
Why not? There's all sorts of things.
What
Do you not like your parents?
I love my parents, but what if they get hurt? What if it's my fault?
Do you want me to open the wall and let you talk to the 6 people back there about why this is not your fault?
It is my fault. I don't deny that this is my fault.
Well, here's the first rule of magical safety, Piero. There's no such fucking thing. You're messing with forces that are unpredictable and largely uncontrollable. And sometimes you have to give in to that. You just have to let it happen. You can't protect people by, and I know this sounds dumb, protecting them.
Okay. That's fair.
In the meantime, I'm going to try and find some better accommodations for my prisoners for the moment. So feel free to finish your coffees, and then if you would kindly get the hell out of my house.
I don't feel like we talked a lot about magical safety here.
Yeah.
I feel much more informed on magical
So, what I'm understanding is I need to find someone, or we, but in this case I, because I'm directly affected by this, someone to get the spot off my neck, and potentially help them as well. But to get the spot off my neck, because if I don't, you will eventually murder me.
I'm hoping that if we take care of whatever problem put that spot on Piero in the first place...
Teeth guy thing.
Teeth guy.
Sure. If we take care of that problem, I'm hoping this problem will just go away. If it doesn't, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
I don't like that phrasing.
It's apt.
Oh, the person we're looking for, by the way, you can't touch them. William.
She opens up a door into the wall with the rest of these, afflicted people, heads in and leaves you two alone in her sanctum for the moment, with instructions to finish your coffee and then get the hell out of her house.
Right.
What do you do?
I would like to blow on the glass wall where the patients, I will refer to them as.
Now, at the moment, it just looks like a wall.
Oh, damn.
She re-opaqued it.
Well, I want to apologize to these people. That's my goal here.
That's kind of your goal here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, give me that panel. What does that look like?
Well, what I wanted to do was blow on the glass so that they can see it, and then write "I'm sorry"
Sure.
in the fog.
Sure. Do you want to try and invisible this wall? Because you saw her make a symbol at it. You know what she did to do it.
Yeah, sure. Why
Let's
not?
have you unleash your powers.
Okay, and plus freak 7.
All right. So this is either going to be unstable temporary, or you can take a condition. But you make the thing. You make that little symbol with your hand, and the wall is very briefly clear.
I'll mark a condition.
Okay. What you gonna mark?
I'm gonna mark guilty.
I think that fits. When you do this, first off, because you know that's where Horus just went. Horus is gone, as is Danielle. So one of these people is already out of this room. The other 5, when you wave, are you waving with the hand that has the spot on it?
Yeah, why not? That sounds good.
Something kind of comes over them when they see that, specifically on you, and they start throwing themselves against the wall, like clawing at it, trying to get to you.
Very glad I didn't take unstable or temporary.
I'm going to grab Piero by the shirt collar and just start dragging them away. Okay, we're done here.
Okay, is that something that you're fighting, or are you just going?
No, I'll just go.
Okay.
I'll give up.
All right. So yeah, you're back out on the streets, and I think that's where we're going to pause with you for the moment.
Do I have to mark my doom track?
You in fact do.
Can I
Because
say
you did talk about your
one
law.
thing before you transfer over?
Yeah, go for it.
We need to set a trap.
So the Baroness.
Yeah.
It is the following morning. You were out street tagging, quite late last night.
Yeah.
Eventually, you head back to Kopi, I would assume.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
And the next morning, you get up, and you've got kind of like a sonar pinging going off in the back of your head.
Okay.
It's tracking something that you can tell is kind of out towards the edge of town right now, but it is moving towards you.
Interesting. Can I, run a system diagnostic?
Sure.
Is this something that normally happens?
This has never happened before.
Okay.
If you want to try and, run sort of a system diagnostic thing, I think that will work for this.
Yes, I would like to figure out what's going on.
Sure. I would like you to roll to assess the situation.
That sounds about right.
Obviously, some of these questions are not going to be applicable, but...
Superior. That's good. That's gonna be a 6.
Nice. Okay, so mark potential.
Mark potential.
You start trying to run this, and rather than giving yourself a diagnostic, you basically send out a beacon.
Oh, God.
So... whatever this thing was out on the edge of town that's kind of heading in towards, starts making a much straighter beeline towards Kobe.
Oh, jeez. Who's, in charge here?
That is an excellent question. You actually don't know.
That sounds like me.
Yeah. You know a lot of the administrative people,
Yeah.
but you don't know who they report to.
Do they have, a tech support guy?
Funny enough, they were outsourcing that to a guy named Grover Bahat.
Now, Dr. Bahat.
Now, Dr. Bahat has since been released from the hospital.
I see.
So Bahat is back at work.
I want to go see him.
Okay, he's over at Apex City U.
Oh, he's all the way over there.
Yeah.
How far away do I judge? How long is it going to take for that thing to get to Kopi?
It depends on how fast it's moving.
Okay.
At this point, it seems to be making progress and then stopping, and then making progress and then stopping.
Okay.
So you've probably got, honestly, at least an hour.
Okay, I'm gonna see Bahat's.
Okay. So
also moving to see if it follows me or continues towards Kopi.
Okay, so you're going to head over to Apex City U.
Yeah.
So along the way, it does readjust its orientation. So
that's
it is
what I assume
definitely
would
coming
happen.
towards you.
Yeah.
You get there, and basically you sign in to see Dr. Bahat, who bumps you up pretty quickly because you were an interesting thing. And then he got, put into a coma by a technical villain.
Yeah.
Dr. Bahat, to reiterate, is a guy in probably his late 40s to early 50s, Middle Eastern descent. He is absolutely wearing an Apex City baseball cap. He's very supportive of our local baseball team.
What's the name of that team again?
It is the Apex City Sentinel... No, Cosmos. It's the Cosmos. Cosmos.
Right.
I have their finger.
Yes. We recorded that baseball episode so long ago.
It's been a while.
Yes. They lead... But basically, he takes you into a kind of a large office. What can I do for you?
So, when I woke up this morning, there's this thing blinking. I'm making these blinking hand gestures trying to show him where it is, and it's coming towards me, and I don't know what's going on, and figure out what's happening.
It's a good description.
Yes.
A lot to go on.
So, have you tried to run a self-diagnosis yet?
I did, and it just sent out a beacon telling the thing where I was.
Well, that's good.
I don't really understand how I work anymore. Help me.
Yeah, you look like you've gone through some changes since the last time I saw you. And he seems very interested in this.
Mm-hmm.
What sparked this?
The changes or the pinging?
The changes.
I got knocked into a river by some magic thing.
He pours a big glass of water and slides it across the desk. And then reaches into basically one of the little cabinets in his desk. And takes out a big medicine bottle. And shakes out a shiny silver pill. I'm going to need you to... When was the last time you ate?
Probably last night.
Good enough. I'm going to need you to take this. We're going to see if we can't run some diagnostics.
Okay. What is this?
Oh, very dissolvable nano-trackers.
Okay.
They'll stay in your system for 24 hours, and then they'll just naturally dissolve.
Okay, sure. I'll go along with that. I trust you, Dr. Bahat.
So you take those.
I have no reason not to trust Dr. Bahat right now.
So you take those, and they lead you down the hall to basically a big tube with a bunch of sensors in it.
Mhm.
They have you stand in the tube. And this is the point where they just show a bunch of screens that show like your insides and you know. One of them that he pulls up definitely has that blinking tracer on it. So you can now see this visually rather than just, on your... Well, I can tell you that this is a radio signal. And if you want, we can... You know what? I have an excellent idea. And he taps on a keyboard a couple of times. And so Apex City is big about satellite technology. He basically pulls up a giant high-tech Google Earth and zooms in on your thing. And what you see is pretty familiar. Mm-hmm. So there's a motorcycle, and on it there is a guy who kind of looks like a young Ronald Reagan in a cowboy getup. The motorcycle...
I know where this is going.
The motorcycle, the handlebars are just hands. And then on the front, holding the headlights, is a big handlebar mustache.
Nice. Nice.
This is Motorhead and Crackshot.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Two members of the Killage people.
Yes. Yes.
And Crackshot occasionally will pull out of his cowboy vest just a big chunky tracker and look at it, and you can tell that this is when he's stopping, and then turn down the appropriate street.
Oh dear.
So we'll get to that in just a second.
Okay.
Oh my god, Jeremy.
Okay, just as an aside, Christina named these people.
Yes. Yes,
my
I
God,
did.
Christina.
This is all on me.
I like the juxtaposition of the hard motorcycle guy holding hands with a motorcycle. That's excellent.
Well, to be fair, the guy riding the motorcycle is young Ronald Reagan in a cowboy getup.
Yes.
So,
He's holding hands.
yeah, they're holding hands.
Holding
the
hands.
handlebars. Because they're the handlebars.
Handlebars.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah. I regret nothing.
That may be an issue.
Yeah.
So
You should get that checked out.
Run a
Darren.
diagnostic check.
Yes, Jeremy.
So, it is the following morning. And how is Darren doing this morning? Because it was a pretty emotional night.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
she's not doing too well. She's not doing well and dandy this morning. I think she would still be wearing the clothes. Not clothes. She was her wilted, sad, rotting flowers.
Haven't rebloomed yet.
Yeah, haven't rebloomed. They're falling off. It looks very autumn. She looks very autumn, very orangey, pale yellow, and dark green bags under her eyes. Seafoam green bags under her eyes.
So Meredith in the kitchen has made you a delightful breakfast.
God damn it, Meredith! It's so nice.
Right.
She's basically got sourdough and mulch pancakes, and then just a giant glass of maple syrup.
Aw.
And as you kind of trudge your way upstairs, she kind of waves over from the kitchen. How are you doing? Why don't you come have some breakfast?
I start crying. At just how kind she is. I sit at the table and I put one of my fingers in the maple syrup, and then I use the other hand to eat the sourdough and mulch pancakes.
And she sits down across the table from you. So, I hear you had kind of a rough night. Do you want to talk about it?
I honestly think Darren is genuinely in a state of shock.
Sure.
That she's very frightened, and I think she's feeling that maybe that these are people that are very precious to her, and she's starting to feel less and less as though she should put them in danger. I don't think I would say that, but I think that would be I think she would have a pained expression on her face, and I think I would take in this beautiful warm family, and they're not prepared for what my people are like, and they're not. Because I think I would say my people and myself are very, very different than the people here on Earth, and it's very hard to describe because my people are good people, but they're harsher than what you would like or understand.
I think that's a good kind of panel there. I don't think we need to follow up past that.
Yeah.
And I want to move from there to kind of an exterior, just sort of wide shot, because I think as Darren is saying this, the shots we get are basically one of Darren's people's ships, like that organic kind of like beam pod shaped craft, lifting up, and then we see it moving over a lot of like wild sort of territory. It obviously came down, they said, somewhere, up north in Canada, and the last panel we get is we see it kind of following the river, and we can see Apex City in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of chickens coming home to roost right now.
Right?
Is that a turn of phrase? Sorry, I've never heard that. I've never heard that before.
I think it's a turn of phrase.
You know what it is now if it wasn't before? Let's get over to Darren and William.
Piero and William? Jinx. Ooh. You can just don't be a soda.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. Let's get over to Piero and William. So you have just left Horus's sanctum, and apparently some sort of trap is going to be set at this point.
Yeah.
I want to sort of get over to the particulars of that. But just as importantly, William, remember how I didn't have you roll your legacy move way back when we started this arc? Go ahead and roll your legacy move.
Sure, let's do that.
Granted, that was like 6 issues ago at this point, so...
Still gotta do it.
If you kept up with the releases, it was the last episode.
It was.
That's true.
We record this
before
in
rolling.
advance. Yes, before rolling.
Ask other players to answer these questions about your performance. Take -1 to the roll for each no answer.
Okay.
Which is why this always goes so poorly.
Yeah. So what has happened so far by the time we're supposed to be saying this?
So, this is basically from the park forward.
Okay.
Have I been upholding the traditions of my legacy?
I mean, you have been kind of mean.
I'm not really sure I would say yes or no to that.
I would say no.
Okay.
I think you're still actively working against your family, even though it's kind of on the back burner.
But you are actively searching for magical artifacts, which I think is upholding the traditions of your family.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay, so we've got 1 yes and 1 no at that point then.
Yeah.
So Darren, or I guess Nan, because this is out of character. Nan is the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
I would also say you have not upheld the traditions of your family.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Next question.
Have you maintained the image of your legacy?
No. You wore a t-shirt that says normal people clothes.
That was last arc.
Yeah.
Oh.
This arc was all pretty.
There was the scene with Eric, so I think that is really something that we need to think about while making our decision here.
Sure.
So what happened there? Eric was talking about how he missed his brother. Yes.
Yeah. Eric was basically talked about how he wanted William to come home and explained in slightly more detail what their dad's plan is and kind of why they had to do it that way, which I think William just kind of rejected out of hand.
Okay. And what's the question again?
Have you been upholding the image, correct, of your family's legacy?
Is that a public image, or is that just image as a whole?
The image.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no to this one.
Yeah, I'm also
Okay.
going to say no.
All right, so that's a no.
That's fair. Have you made the other members of your legacy proud?
What did Eric say when they
You just
interacted?
kind of left it as a very neutral, I feel.
Yeah.
He wasn't, angry.
Yeah, I feel like he was more happy to see that you were
Yeah,
alive
well.
and okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you're making this hard, buddy.
I'm going to say no. They're not proud of you at the moment.
Okay.
Because they would have wanted you to come back.
I mean, sorry, Eric did want him to come back.
Yeah, exactly. And he didn't.
But yeah, and he's not. So I don't think you're destroying your legacy, but I don't think you're working towards it. So I'm gonna have to go with no.
Okay, so we've got a solid no's across the
-3
board.
in that roll.
So-
Sweet.
You made
I
the
do
character
get
buddy.
a +2 toward it.
So you're only a -1.
-1.
You're fine.
Not gonna matter.
All right.
On a miss, something you
potential.
did stirred up the hornet's nest. Expect several members of your legacy to meddle with your life.
Which
Do I get to at least mark potential for that?
You do.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Which, to be fair, kind of works out with your last conversation with William there. With Eric. God, I keep doing that.
No.
You don't understand.
Write it on your hand.
Characters
I see
is
the-
the same.
Get them tattooed on your knuckles. Eric, William. We're out of knuckles,
W-L-I-M.
yeah.
We could just tattoo it on Jordan's forehead.
That'll work.
Yeah,
We have post-it notes.
I would rather do that.
I love the two extremes, post-it note or tattoo, and we immediately went to tattoo first.
So I think the way that this kind of plays out at the moment is as you exit Horus's sanctuary, you see a lot of vehicles that you know are in your dad's motor pool. These are definitely your father's people, just speeding down the street.
Toward us?
Nope, they are heading towards Kopi at the moment.
Ah.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Okay. If we're gonna set a trap, I'm just gonna ignore that for the time being.
Yeah, that's fair. I like ignoring things too.
I don't know what to make of that. So, if we're gonna set a trap, we're gonna need to get the group together, because there's no way we're gonna pull that off on our own. So, I would like to use my watch to try and come up with a meeting place and communicate with the group that I would like to get together.
That's probably
That's fair
smart.
enough. And at this point, you're not in any kind of stressful situation. So, what does that message?
Great.
What does
So
that
I don't
message?
have to come up with.
No, you don't have to. What does that message look like?
Something to the effect of, need to discuss some things. Let's get together.
Party at Piero's house.
Party at Piero's house.
Okay. So I think we'll move over to the Baroness right quick. Where you get that message is kind of just after seeing Motorhead and Crackshot. Definitely tracking you.
Yeah.
And so then you get a message on your Phoenix Watch from William. How do you respond? Or do you just leave it on red?
Don't you dare do that to me.
I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
And then leave it.
I'm tempted to
You know,
just
this is
leave
a great
it.
opportunity to, like, bring us all together so you don't have to
Oh.
face this alone, right?
Oh,
Yes,
that's great,
I
that's
do
great.
know that.
Anyway. The Baroness. Sorry. What do you do?
Yeah. I am.
Red 123.
Yes.
Typing. Backspace.
That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna type a bunch of messages and erase them, but I'm not gonna send a message just yet.
Okay.
I need to know if Dr. Bahat can, like, scramble the signal so they can't find me.
I think he can help you.
Okay.
And I think the way this is going to work is go ahead and unleash your powers and take a +1 on that. Because I think Bahat can help you with that.
Okay. That's
But he will
a...
use the one team in your pool to do so.
That's a 13.
That'll do it. So between the two of you, he basically writes a small piece of code that's going to bounce that signal back to a bunch of random cell towers, and then you successfully install that and prevent your internal coding from just purging it immediately.
Okay.
So you've got this kind of like in a little bubble in your head.
Okay.
So it might, at some point your coding might reassert itself, but for now,
I figure there's a timer on that, but I...
it's fairly long. As long as nothing traumatic happens to you.
Okay.
You?
Yeah, it's my code is trying to purge my protections, but
Yes.
anyways, I will eventually text back. I'll say, sure, let's keep it quick. Send.
You are the worst.
So we move back over to Darren. Meredith is now outside doing some gardening, and you kind of have the place to yourself. The boys are at school at the moment. What do you do? And you get this message on your watch from William, basically just asking everybody to meet up. Are you going to respond, or are you just taking a you day?
No, I'm going to respond.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be going through, like, the routine as if everything's fine.
Sure.
Yeah. It's not, but I'm going to...
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
all
That's
of
a
us.
very human behavior, isn't it? Denial.
Yes. It's the most human of all.
This is a whole episode about denial.
Basically.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong.
Niall, I'm just trying to deal with my problems.
Everything's fine. You're dealing with Piero's problems, not yours.
It's his problem
made
now,
them
too.
my problem.
Yeah, it's his problem now, too.
Okay.
Thanks.
I am wearing a really nice scarf, by the way, just so everyone knows.
Oh, what
Can it
color
be an
is
ascot?
Yeah, what store did you steal this from?
Ascot, dress by committee, dress by committee.
It's not an ascot, it's a
That's
scarf.
It's a
fine.
scarf. What color is it?
Just gray and black.
Okay.
What store did you steal it from?
We don't have to discuss that.
It's definitely Sears.
William is more of a scarf person than an ascot
It's definitely
person.
Sears.
What year is it? 91?
It's 19... No, actually, I'm sorry. It's 2000...
It's
Yeah. So
2000X.
Where are you guys meeting?
Piero's house, yes?
You gonna be at Piero's?
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense, right? Because we're both already here.
Sure.
Okay.
That's
I
right.
assume we know where your
We were
house
standing
is.
outside of...
Or at least they can
Or-
give you directions.
That's true. I can
We
track
could be
a bit of
anywhere in the
watch.
city.
Yeah.
Wait, are we really deciding, like, in a suburb that we're going to all meet together when someone's tracking her?
Only
We
I
don't know
Someone's
that.
tracking
You don't know
you.
that. You don't
Someone's tracking you. Someone's tracking you. Someone's tracking me. It doesn't really matter where we go.
tracked, right?
Because
Everyone's
we're in a
getting tracked.
suburb. There's people there with their families teaching their kid how to ride their
At least we'll
bike.
be in a deserted house. When the aliens come and blow up the house,
Right.
then at least no one else will get hurt.
God, I
I'm
love this.
hoping all the people
Let's
tracking
have-
all of us just...
Let's have this conversation in character.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, I can't say
so
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
So, I'm assuming Piero's house will work out then.
that. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
It's a sanctuary.
Unless you
It
want to do
has
the
some
abandoned
level
mall
of
again.
It's not.
protection.
It's not
The
my
mask is your
sanctuary.
sanctuary, but that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So, you all meet at Piero's place, and I think probably just downstairs in the big kind of empty living room. Let's get a quick visual. What does it look like? Have you dragged any furniture in here? Is it just bare?
It's imaginary furniture. Lots of imaginary beanbag chairs.
But there's no one here to see it, so would they actually?
You all see it.
materialize?
You all see it. And also, William lives with me, so
Yeah.
that canonically makes me stronger.
I understand.
That's true.
Yes, just really the
I gotta
tackiest
tell you
shit.
guys, it is the weirdest thing sleeping on an invisible bed.
But your brain thinks it's real, but you
That's
know it's
true.
not.
Do
It's
you
actually
imagine
better because it's like a really nice like feather
Right,
mattress.
it's as soft as you
like-
can possibly
But
imagine.
do you imagine a pee in the mattress?
Wait, I have a great question actually.
Yes.
When he falls asleep and goes unconscious, is no longer there to witness the magic. Does he fall?
I think that's you should answer that.
You know, I think in this case it'll work because it's William's subconscious mind still thinks that he's
continues
sleeping
to
on a bed.
believe. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be real funny.
Yeah.
Every time I fall asleep.
If he thinks about it too hard, yes. But
Also inflatable, like translucent inflatable chairs. Like you gotta blow them up. That's also featured. In
Invisible
my
chairs that you
house.
have to actually
But you
blow.
have to-
Yeah.
Real air
All that
Yeah, you gotta put real air.
So you can see the real layer inside.
That's perfect. Okay, so everyone is seated in this on the invisible furniture in this
Apparently, yeah.
empty living room. Otherwise,
Derelict house.
and the neighborhood's not great. It's kind of overgrown. It's definitely seen better days. And you're all together now, so go for it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Will talking about setting this trap affect my doom track?
At this point, no. I've already made you mark it so far. I'm not going to make you mark it like back to back to back to back.
Okay.
So
Nice. Got it.
I think that's fine.
Alright.
Here's what's going on. Me and Piero. I'm not even sure I fully understand it. But apparently, Horus is going to kill us unless we somehow manage to get rid of this really unsightly black spot that's really messing up my skin tone.
I'm gonna show my hand.
So it's also like a plague, so don't touch us.
I'm going to take a step, scoot my beanbag chair back a little bit.
Fair.
So that's happening. So we're going to try and set a trap for this person that keeps attacking us randomly, which is apparently Piero's friend. And going to try and capture her. And I'm not sure what we're going to do with her from there. But
How are you going to capture her?
I don't know.
I was just gonna talk to her, honestly. I was just gonna try to convince her to do the right thing.
Does Piero say that out loud?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Also, neither of us can touch her, apparently.
Yeah.
Physically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just part of why we need you guys.
What do you need us to do?
To touch
I
her?
don't know. Help us to set a trap, first of all.
Y'all got any ideas?
I don't know anything about her.
Well,
Neither do I.
On my
You're in the
planet,
same
there
boat.
is a race of people, and they have very, very large heads that open up like a mouth, and then they have a beautiful aroma comes out, and they lure Urwigs into them and eat them.
Ooh.
They look similar to your, the
Okay.
Martian traps.
So we need something appealing
Yes.
to Ruby
Yes.
to set a trap.
So you.
Me. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we got going on. How are you guys doing?
I've been better.
Yeah? You want to elaborate on that?
I got some stuff going on. I'm not sure now is the best time for me to be setting a trap for someone. But we can work something out, maybe.
Why? Why is that?
Jackie, I have been worried. You have not been texting me.
You left me on red, Jackie.
Oh no! That's gonna shift my labels.
Oh, yes. I think that does. Okay. So, okay, yep, this is going to be a label shift. So, Darren, how are you trying to shift Darren's labels?
I think I'm going to shift. I am trying to shift her superior down.
And what up?
I'm going to shift her freak up.
Okay, that can't happen.
So, do you accept this or reject it? Because you can reject this.
I'm gonna reject it. I think I've had my own stuff to deal with.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Let's see how this goes.
Oh, that's no good.
I have not successfully
That's
rejected
no good.
influence ever.
Okay, so
This hits me hard.
on a miss, their words hit you hard. Mark a condition, and
Yup.
I will shift your labels.
I'm definitely guilty about this.
Okay.
I haven't texted Darren.
No.
I think your mundane is going to go up.
Okay, my mundane goes up.
Yes, and I think your freak goes down.
Okay.
Because I think what Darren is saying there kind of hits you, but in your head, this is what normal dumb people
Yes,
do.
this is what Static Shock does.
red. Yeah, this is what Static Shock does. He just gets into his own thing and he leaves you on red.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so that shifted my labels. And I'm
Okay.
super guilty. Like, oh god. Oh, I'm sorry, Darren.
Perfect.
So this is now what
Okay.
I'm sorry, I've been dealing with some stuff. Some people from my past showed up. Apparently they can track me. I didn't know they could do that. And I'm not really I'm not sure I want them coming back right now.
Like, coming to attack you or coming to, like, say hello?
I don't know.
Who are they?
They're my old group that I used to run with in Maestro City.
That's what's been wrong? Because I thought after we fought a mechanicalized skeleton made of dead animals, that after that you've been seeming odd.
Yeah, there's been some stuff going on. I'm not sure who I am anymore.
That seems like you're sharing a vulnerability.
It does. Cybersource Hex might be me from the future.
So what does sharing a vulnerability do?
Give them influence and hold 2. Spend that hold to help them as if it were team.
Nice. So I think this is.
I'm
Darren.
telling this to Darren, yeah.
So Darren, you already have influence over the Baroness.
Yes.
I do, yes.
So go ahead and shift Baroness labels again.
Oh, dumpling. Oh,
My labels, they're all over the place.
Nothing. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna shift your superior down
Okay.
and your danger up.
Okay, danger can't go up.
Sorry.
Go ahead and mark that condition.
Okay.
Your superior stays where it's at.
Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna be angry this time.
Opening up is hard to do.
Yes.
Causes all sorts of feelings. Oh.
Sorry, Jackie.
That's okay.
So.
Also, that filled up 3 conditions.
Oh no.
It did.
Does that trigger my armature right now?
It does. I think.
We're in the middle of just sitting here talking, all of a sudden it's
This is getting to you.
It's
So
really getting to me.
yeah. So go ahead and what are you doing?
I'm currently an eagle.
Going on.
So that locks eagle, right?
Yes, that'll lock Eagle.
Okay. So that was my 3rd one. I technically have Puma unlocked.
So you can shift.
Or
into
is there
Puma.
like a new one that's gonna lock? Or
I think at this point, go ahead and shift.
Okay, I'm gonna shift into Puma then.
Okay. So yeah, the Baron is kind of like mid-conversation, just shuts down, goes into hibernation mode, for lack of a better word.
Uh-huh.
Alright then.
And over the next couple of minutes while this is happening, what are the rest of you doing?
Invisible fan. Fanning the Baroness while they're down.
Darren, what did you do?
I don't know. I think I would be like by her, like shaking her bare hide, like,
Uh-huh.
is this Is it cold outside? Is that what happens to this species when it gets cold outside?
Uh-huh.
So the cybernetic parts of the Bearoness had been kind of like reticulated like feathers, and that just shifts and ripples and goes smooth. The claws on her cyber arm lengthen and curve a little bit. So this is the first time you've actively seen this happen, and from an outside perspective, this is weird as hell.
It's like Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Is this another weird bloom cycle?
Let's go with that.
And at that point, because I think it was last session, it was the last session or one before that, your armature track filled up.
Yes, it did.
And you may have thought that the killer people showing up was part of that.
I may have.
In fact, not so much.
Okay.
What is part of that is that you now have a second ping going off on your radar. That's the point at which a bunch of black vans pull up outside.
Oh my god.
And looking out the window, William especially, you recognize these vehicles. They're the ones that just passed you outside of Horus. Your father's folks are here.
Mm-hmm.
And they are quickly surrounding the house. And that is where we will pause, and we'll pick this up.
Oh god, seriously? Masks, A New Generation, is written for Magpie Games by Brendan Conway. It is made of angst, bears, and system error. Give it your dollars. It is well worth them. The Bearoness is played by A Glitch in the System. Piero is played by Lenny. You can find her on Instagram at C4TFood. William Infernus is played by Jordan. Darren is played by Nan. Find her on Instagram at Nanjitsu. Apex City is GM'd by Jeremy, or so you think, who also writes the music and edits this podcast. Our album art was provided by Ash Brandt. Find them on Twitter at Cinder_Brandt, on Instagram at Brandt.ash, and on Tumblr at Kimmins. Find us on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are sold. Follow us on Twitter at Apex City Cast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next issue.